I'll never forget the day a CEO walked into my courtroom thinking his checkbook could write him out of trouble, and I had to show him that justice isn't for sale at any price. Please hit that subscribe button because what I'm about to tell you matters now more than ever. Let me take you back to that Thursday afternoon. It was late September. I had been hearing cases since 9 that morning. By 2 o'clock, I was tired. But then the bailiff called the next case, and this man walked in. Everything about him screamed money and power. His suit probably cost $5,000. His shoes looked like they'd never touched a sidewalk. He had this air about him, like the room should be grateful he showed up. His lawyer was one of those fancy corporate attorneys, the kind that charge $800 an hour. They both walked in like they owned the place, like my courtroom was just another boardroom where deals get made. Comment below if you've ever seen someone act like they're above everyone else. The case itself was straightforward. Hit and run. He had rear-ended a car at a stoplight. Significant damage. The other driver was injured. Not life-threatening, but real injuries. Whiplash. Back problems. Medical bills piling up. But this CEO didn't stop. He just drove away. Left the scene. The other driver got his license plate number. Police tracked him down. The prosecution laid out the facts. Security camera footage from a nearby store showed everything. His luxury sedan hitting the other car. Him getting out, looking at the damage, getting back in his car and driving away. Clear as day. No question about what happened. The other driver was there too. A working man, painter. Worked with his hands. Had to take time off because of his injuries. He sat in the gallery with his wife. Both looked worried, scared, like they were hoping for justice but not really expecting it. Share this video if you think working people deserve justice too. When I asked the CEO to explain himself, that's when things got interesting. He stood up, didn't look nervous at all, looked annoyed. He said, "Your Honor, I admit I was involved in a minor traffic incident, but I had an extremely important meeting, a merger worth millions of dollars, hundreds of jobs depending on it. I couldn't stay at the scene. I knew my insurance would handle everything. I don't understand why I'm being treated like a criminal. My company contributes significantly to this city's economy. I employ over 3,000 people. I think some perspective is needed here." I felt my jaw tighten when he said that. Minor traffic incident. He hit someone and drove away. That's not minor to the person you hit. That's not minor when you're in pain and the other driver just leaves you there. But I let him continue. I wanted the record to show exactly who this man was. Turn on notifications because you need to hear what happened next. His lawyer jumped in, started talking about his client's contributions to the community, charitable donations, job creation, important business responsibilities. Then the lawyer said something that really got to me. He said, "Your Honor, my client is prepared to make this right. He's willing to pay whatever compensation is reasonable. He's a man of means, and he understands that money can resolve this situation. Let's not blow this out of proportion. My client has learned his lesson. Money can resolve this situation." Those words hung in the air, like justice was just a transaction, like hitting someone and leaving them was just a business problem that money could fix. I looked at this CEO, really looked at him, and I saw no remorse, none. He looked impatient, like he was already thinking about his next meeting, his next deal. Let me know in the comments if this attitude makes your blood boil too. Then I looked at the man he hit, the painter, sitting there in his work clothes, holding his wife's hand. I saw real worry in their eyes, worry about medical bills, about lost work, about whether anyone would hold this powerful man accountable. That's when I thought about a case from 2 weeks earlier. A young woman came before me, college student, working part-time at a diner. She backed into another car in a parking lot. Barely any damage, but she panicked, drove away. Police found her. She came to my court absolutely terrified, crying before I even started. She said, "Judge Caprio, I made a terrible mistake. I was scared. I'm so sorry. I know it was wrong. I can't stop thinking about it. I know I have to face the consequences. I worked 2 jobs to pay for school. I'll do whatever I need to do to make this right. I'm so ashamed. Stay with me because this is important to understand." I looked at this young woman, tears streaming down her face, genuine remorse, real shame. She didn't have money, didn't have power, but she had character. She knew she did wrong. She was genuinely sorry. I gave her a suspended sentence, probation, community service, required her to pay for the damage in installments. I told her I believe in second chances for people who show genuine remorse. She thanked me probably 10 times, said she'd never make a mistake like that again. I believed her. Bless your heart, I told her. Learn from this. Now here was this CEO, same basic offense, but so much worse, more damage, injured person, and absolutely no remorse, just arrogance, just this belief that his money and position made him special, made the rules different for him. I sat there thinking, what do I do here? Do I show mercy to someone who shows no remorse? Do I let money buy justice? Or do I stand up for that painter and everyone who feels like the system is rigged for the rich? Share this with someone who thinks the system needs to work for everyone. My father, God rest his soul, used to tell me something. He'd say, Frankie, you'll know a man's true character by how he treats people who can't do anything for him. The waiter, the janitor, the person he hits with his car. That's where you see who someone really is. My father came here from Italy with nothing, worked construction his whole life. His hands were rough. His back was bent from years of hard labor. But he had more dignity and character than men with millions. He taught me that money doesn't make you better. It just makes you more comfortable. But comfort and character are different things. This CEO had all the comfort in the world, but his character was ugly. Part of me wanted to just impose a fine and move on. It would have been easier. His lawyer would write a check. Everyone would go home. But I knew if I did that, I'd be part of the problem. I'd be proving that money does buy justice, that rich people play by different rules. Don't forget to like this video if you believe everyone should play by the same rules. I could feel my heart pounding. This is where it gets difficult because I knew whatever I decided would send a message far beyond this courtroom. If I went easy, I'd be telling every working person that their pain doesn't matter as much as a rich person's convenience, that powerful people can hurt them and face no real consequences. But if I came down hard, people would say I was biased against success, that I was punishing him for being wealthy. I had to make a choice that would affect not just this CEO, but every person who would hear about this case. The hardest part of being a judge is knowing that your decisions ripple out. They affect how people see justice, whether they believe in fairness or think it's all rigged. I took a deep breath, really deep. I straightened up in my chair. The courtroom got very quiet. People could sense something important was about to happen. I looked at the CEO, then at the painter, then back at the CEO. I want you to understand why I did what I did. Comment what you think I should have done. I said, sir, I've listened to your explanation. I've heard your lawyer talk about your importance and your contributions. Now let me tell you what I see. I see a man who hurt someone and left them on the side of the road. I see a man who thinks a business meeting matters more than another human being's pain and safety. I see a man who shows not 1 ounce of genuine remorse. I see a man who thinks money can buy his way out of every problem. And I see a man who needs to learn that in my courtroom we don't have first class and economy seating. Everyone is equal. His expression changed, just slightly. The confidence wavered. I continued. You said you employ 3,000 people. Let me tell you something. That painter you hit employs a family. He contributes by working hard every single day. His back hurts now because of what you did. He's losing work, losing money he can't afford to lose. And you think your time is more valuable than his well-being. The CEO started to speak, but I held up my hand. I wasn't finished. Turn on notifications for more stories about real justice. I said in my 40 years on the bench, I've seen every kind of person, rich, poor, everything in between. And I'll tell you something I've learned. The amount of money you have tells me nothing about your character. Nothing. I've seen wealthy people show great compassion and humility. I've seen people with nothing show incredible integrity. And I've seen what I see now. Someone with every advantage acting like those advantages make them superior, make them exempt from the rules everyone else follows. Your lawyer said money can resolve this. Let me be clear. Money cannot resolve the disrespect you showed to that man and his family. Money cannot resolve your belief that you're above the law. Money cannot buy your way out of this courtroom. The CEO's face was getting red. I couldn't tell if it was embarrassment or anger. Probably anger. People like him aren't used to being told no. His lawyer looked nervous, started shuffling papers, but I kept going. You said you learned your lesson, but you didn't, Because learning your lesson means understanding why what you did was wrong, understanding that another person's safety matters more than your meeting, showing actual remorse. I don't see any of that. Let me know if you think I was being too harsh or not harsh enough. Here's what's going to happen. I'm finding you guilty of leaving the scene of an accident with injury. I'm finding you the maximum allowable under law, $2,500. But that's not all. The CEO looks surprised, like that's it. That's nothing to him. I said you will also pay full restitution to the victim for all medical expenses, lost wages, and pain and suffering. I'm recommending the maximum. Furthermore, I'm suspending your driver's license for 1 year. Now his mouth dropped open. His lawyer jumped up. Your Honor, that's excessive. My client needs to drive for business. He has important responsibilities. I leaned forward. Counselor, your client had important responsibilities to the person he hit, to stop, to help, to make sure they were okay, to take responsibility. He failed those responsibilities. Now he'll face the consequences. For 1 year, he can hire a driver, take taxis, use public transportation like millions of people do every day. Maybe it will teach him some humility. Maybe it will help him understand that driving is a privilege, not a right. Share this if you think privileges come with responsibilities. Additionally, 80 hours of community service. You will volunteer at an organization that helps accident victims. You will hear their stories. You will understand the impact of hit-and-run crashes. You will learn what it feels like for people who are hurt and abandoned. And you will do this on your time, not during work hours, evenings, weekends. Your important meetings don't excuse you from this. The courtroom was completely silent. The CEO looked stunned. His lawyer looked pale. But the painter in the gallery, I saw tears in his eyes. His wife was squeezing his hand. They looked like people who had just seen justice work for them instead of against them. Finally, if you violate any traffic law during the next 2 years, you will be back here, and I guarantee you won't like what happens. Do you understand these terms? The CEO nodded, barely. His jaw was clenched. I could see the anger in his eyes. Good. I wanted him angry. Angry means he felt something. Maybe in that anger there might be room for reflection. Comment below what you think the CEO learned from this. I said, is there anything you'd like to say to the man you hit? Any apology you'd like to offer? This is your chance to show me I'm wrong about you. The CEO looked at the painter, looked back at me, and said, I acknowledge my mistake. My lawyer will handle the financial arrangements. That was it. No sorry, no expression of actual remorse, no acknowledgement of the pain he caused. Just cold, transactional, exactly what I expected. I said, very well. Your lawyer has the paperwork. You have 30 days to begin community service. Your license suspension begins immediately. Surrender your license to the bailiff. Case closed. I hit my gavel. The CEO stood there for a moment, like he was waiting for someone to say, just kidding. Like surely this couldn't be real, but it was real. His lawyer whispered something. They walked to the bailiff's desk. The CEO handed over his license. I could see his hand shaking slightly. Whether from anger or finally some fear or maybe even shame, I couldn't tell. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories about standing up for regular people. As they left, the CEO walked right past the painter. Didn't look at him, didn't acknowledge him, just walked by like he wasn't there. That told me everything about whether my sentence got through. But the painter came up to the bench after they left. He said, Judge Caprio, thank you. I didn't think anyone would hold him accountable. I thought he'd just pay some money and that would be it. Thank you for treating me like I matter. His voice cracked when he said that. His wife was crying. She said, you're a good man. God bless you. Those words meant more to me than anything else that day. That's why I do this job. Not for the CEOs who need humbling, but for the painters who need someone to stand up for them. For the regular working people who deserve to know that justice applies equally. That night I went home and I told my wife about the case. She knows me. After 50 years together, she knows when something weighs on me. I told her everything. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she said, do you think you were too hard on him? I said, I don't know. Maybe. He's going to appeal probably. Some people will say I was biased. But then I think about that painter, about his injuries, about him being left on the road. And I know I did right. Let me know in the comments if you think I was right or wrong. My wife said that CEO has probably never been held accountable for anything in his life. People have been saying, yes, sir, his entire career. You did what needed to be done. You showed him that there's one place where his money doesn't matter, where his title doesn't impress. That's important. Maybe he'll learn. Maybe he won't. But at least you tried. I couldn't sleep well that night. I kept replaying the case, questioning my decisions. Was the license suspension too much? Would the community service teach him anything? Did I let my emotions affect my judgment? These are the questions that keep judges up at night. The weight of knowing your decisions affect real lives. I asked myself what my father would have done. He probably would have wanted me to be even tougher. He had no patience for people who thought they were better than others. He would have said, "Frankie, you gave him exactly what he deserved. Stand by it. Stay with me," because what happened next surprised everyone. 3 weeks later, I got a call from the community service coordinator. She said, "Judge Caprio, I need to tell you about your CEO. He showed up for his first session, late, clearly resentful. We assigned him to meet with hit-and-run victims, people sharing their stories. Your CEO sat in the back, arms crossed, looking at his phone until we made him put it away. Then this elderly woman started talking. She was hit by a car 5 years ago. Driver left her on the road. She broke her hip, spent months in recovery, lost her job, fell into depression. She talked about the nightmares she still has, about being afraid to cross streets, about how that moment changed her life. And Judge Caprio, I watched your CEO." Something shifted. He put down his phone. He leaned forward. He started actually listening. When she finished, he raised his hand. He said, "I'm the reason someone is in this room. I did what that driver did to you. I hit someone and I left. I didn't think about it like this. I didn't think about the person. I just thought about myself. I'm sorry. Turn on your notifications because this story has an unexpected turn." The coordinator said the room got very quiet. The elderly woman said, "Thank you for saying that. I hope you mean it. I hope you actually change." The CEO nodded. After that session, he stayed, talked to people, asked questions. Next week, he showed up 15 minutes early, started helping set up chairs. Third week, he brought coffee for everyone. She said, "I don't know if it's genuine or if he's just trying to look good. But something seems different. He's listening. He's engaging. He asked if he could do extra hours because he wants to hear more stories." I kept that report. I wanted to believe people could change, that sometimes consequences actually teach lessons, that maybe the CEO got through his ego enough to see the human cost of his actions. Did he permanently change? I honestly don't know. 6 months later, I heard he completed all his community service, did the financial restitution, followed all the terms. His lawyer appealed the license suspension. It was reduced to 6 months. Not surprising. But at least he faced something. At least he had to sit in those rooms and hear those stories. At least for a few months, his privilege didn't protect him from consequences. Share this video if you believe consequences can teach people. Some of you might think I was too harsh, that I punished him because he was wealthy. Let me address that. I don't punish people for having money. I punish arrogance. I punish the belief that money makes you exempt from rules. I punish showing no remorse while expecting special treatment. This CEO could have walked in humble and apologetic, could have shown genuine concern for the man he hurt, could have taken full responsibility. If he had done that, my sentence would have been different. Much different. But he didn't. He walked in entitled, made excuses, showed no real remorse, treated the painter like an inconvenience. That's what I couldn't tolerate. That's what earned him the maximum sentence. Here in Providence, we believe in equal justice. We believe everyone deserves the same respect, the same treatment, the same accountability. That's not bias. That's fairness. Comment if you agree that fairness means everyone plays by the same rules. This case taught me something important. It reminded me that individual judges can make a difference. We can't fix the whole system, but we can control our own courtrooms. We can make our own decisions based on what's right, not what's easy. We can stand up for people who need someone to stand up for them, and we can hold people accountable regardless of their power. That's what I tried to do. That's what I'll keep trying to do. Some judges might disagree with my approach. That's okay. But in my courtroom, character matters more than cash. Remorse matters more than resume. How you treat people matters more than how much you earn. And if you walk in acting like you're better than everyone else, you're going to learn otherwise. Share this message with anyone who thinks the system is rigged for the rich. Here's what I want you to take away from this story. Treat every person with respect. The person you hit with your car, the person serving you coffee, everyone, because we're all equal in the ways that matter. Take responsibility when you make mistakes. Don't make excuses. Don't try to buy your way out. Just own it. Apologize sincerely. Make it right. Show some humility. Whatever success you've achieved, you didn't do it alone. You had help. You had advantages. You had luck. Be grateful. Be humble. Remember that circumstances can change in an instant. Understand that privileges come with responsibilities. If you're wealthy, use that wealth to help others. If you're powerful, protect the vulnerable. If you're successful, lift others up. That's what character looks like. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Looking back on this case, I have no regrets. Would I do it again the exact same way? Absolutely. Would I change anything? Maybe make the community service longer. But overall, I'm proud of every decision. Proud I stood up for that painter. Proud I showed that CEO his money doesn't buy justice. That painter came to see me months later, just to say hello, to thank me again. He told me his medical bills were paid, that the restitution covered everything, that he got back to work, that he and his wife felt like justice worked for them. He said, Judge Caprio, you gave us our faith back, faith that regular people matter, that someone in power cares about us, that we're not invisible. Those words meant everything to me. That's the impact I hope every judge strives for, making regular people feel seen and protected. That's real justice. Comment your final thoughts on this case. My final message is simple. We're all equal in the courtroom, in God's eyes, in our fundamental worth. Your money doesn't make you more valuable. Your title doesn't make you more important. Your success doesn't put you above the rules. We're all just people, some with more advantages, some with more struggles, but all equally deserving of respect. Act like it. Treat others like it. Live like you believe it. Because in the end, that's what defines your character. Not your bank account, not your position, but how you treat people, especially people who can't do anything for you. That CEO had a choice. He could have treated that painter with respect, could have stopped and helped, could have shown remorse. He chose arrogance instead, so he faced consequences, real consequences that mattered. I hope he learned from them, but even if he didn't, I know that painter felt justice was served. I know other working people saw that the system can work for them, and that's enough. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring about justice. Please share this video, subscribe for more stories from my courtroom, and remember, character matters more than everything else. Good luck to you. God bless you. Until next time.